Imagine yourself in this scene. You are in the mountains of northern Italy. You set out in the early hours of the morning. Your backpack has started to ache your shoulders, your legs are burning. Right in front of you, the mountain stands as if looking down on you, growing larger with every step you take. But you keep going. You climb step by step. Then, from between the trees, something eye-catching strikes your gaze. Pink. Absurdly pink. Disturbingly pink. You stop. Your entire body freezes. You no longer feel the weight of your pack or the burning in your legs, because up on the summit, on lush green grass, across an area so vast it seems nothing should have the right to be that large, lying on its back as if it had simply decided to stretch out and rest, a colossal pink rabbit 60 meters long is watching you. And in that very moment, something breaks inside you. That deep, unshakable trust you had in the logic of the world. Because there are some scenes that no matter how hard your brain tries, it simply cannot make sense of. It is etched into your life as one of those few frames that never fit any framework, never explained by any definition. And this moment, experienced in the first light of dawn on the peak of Colletto Fava, is exactly one of those moments. As with every great mystery, this story too has a lead role. They introduce themselves as Gelatin, four Austrian artists, Ali Janka, Florian Reither, Tobias Urban, and Wolfgang Gantner. They met in 1978. They have been working together since 1993. These are not an ordinary art group. When you look at their past, the story becomes even more intriguing. They set up a working fairground train inside a gallery in Milan. On the rooftop of one of London's most prestigious art venues, they created a real boating lake. In Germany, they constructed an underwater cave that hid its existence from the world, accessible only by diving through a secret pipe 5 meters deep. For these people, there is no such concept as a boundary, no such thing as a rule either. And one day they made a powerful decision among themselves. They chose their target. They were going to place something there, and that something would ensure this hilltop could never again be remembered as it once was. The numbers are quite striking. 60 meters in length, 6 meters in height. Uproot a 20-story building and lay it on its side. Extend half a football pitch alongside it. That is how large Hase is. But it is not possible to describe it with numbers alone. What is truly frightening is this. When you approach it, you feel yourself disappear. Your name, your height, your weight, your place in the world, all of it becomes worthless in an instant. So how was this enormous work made? It was stuffed with straw, knitted from special soft and waterproof materials, but who knitted it? Grandmothers. Real grandmothers, knitting needles in hand, most likely with their tea beside them. For 5 years. Kilometers of pale pink yarn. Just picture this scene. Elderly women. Perhaps humming old songs. Perhaps gossiping a little, quietly and patiently knitting stitch by stitch, a giant creature that would one day be placed on a remote mountain in Italy. What did they think during all this? Did they know where that yarn passing through their hands would go? Or did they simply carry on with their work, burying their questions deep inside? And when it was finished, what emerged? A creature that appeared to have fallen from the sky, lying on its back, its heart, liver, and intestines scattered beside it, its mouth wide open. Gelatin designed it this way deliberately. But why? Now stop for a moment. Because here we are forced to ask the darkest question. How do you transport something weighing hundreds of kilograms, a 60-meter object, to a mountain summit 1,600 meters high, with narrow trails that even a car can barely navigate, without anyone noticing, without making a sound? The answer is remarkably cool-headed, piece by piece, step by step, and with relentless stubbornness. Gelatin prepared the work in separate sections and carried it up the mountain by hand. The paths were unexpectedly narrow. The slope was breathtaking. The weather could change at any moment, but without stopping, the process was completed. No step was taken backward. And one morning, when the sun struck the peak of Colletto Fava for the first time, something was there. It had been there since the night before. No one had seen it. No one had heard a thing. Small ladders had been placed around it, and the first person to see those steps, the hiker who first set foot on that ladder, what did they feel at the top? Inside the belly of a giant creature, with the plains of Piedmont stretching out below and the mountain ranges fading into the horizon, what did they think? Only that person knows, and the peace they experienced. 2005. The news began to spread quietly. First the local press, then national, then international. The Guardian carried it to its pages. The New York Times reported on it. They called it controversial. They called it strange. They called it extraordinary. Each chose a different word, but none ignored it. Because this had not been something that could be ignored. The real explosion came in 2008. Google Earth had become widespread, and people began typing in those coordinates. What appeared on their screens froze them. Right in the middle of green slopes, a pink dot large enough to be visible from space. China Daily ran it as a headline. Japanese newspapers made it a story on their pages. From Brazil to Russia, everyone shared it. And the whole world began asking the same question. Is this real? It was. Real enough to be seen from space. Real enough to be touched by hand. Real enough to be walked upon. And no one was taking it down. No one was making a statement. Gelatin was simply watching, without a sound, from a distance. So what lies behind all of this? Why would someone spend 5 years of effort leaving a colossal rabbit on a mountaintop and then never remove it? Never protect it? Never move it to a museum? Because Hase had been designed to die from the very beginning. The plan was cool-headed and clear. It would disappear completely by the year 2025. Rain would eat at it. Snow would melt it. Sun would fade it. Wind would gnaw it away. And Gelatin would not only allow this to happen, they would return year after year to personally photograph this death. The art world was left astonished. Academics put pen to paper. Critics debated. Was this a philosophical dialogue established with nature? Was it a case filed against permanence? But Gelatin said only one thing. The rabbit loves you, and you love the rabbit, and fell silent. Perhaps the real message was this: you do not have to be permanent. The fact that what you made is still standing centuries later does not make you great. True greatness is touching someone's life for just a moment. It is causing someone to climb a mountain and rub their eyes in disbelief. It is making someone ask, "What is this?" Gelatin returned to Colletto Fava over the years. They photographed it each time. Each time the rabbit had undergone change. It had shrunk a little more, faded a little more, come a little closer to the earth. 2005, bright pink, vibrant, an almost threatening presence. 2008, first signals of fading, but still defiantly in its place. 2012. Gray tones began to slowly smother the pink. 2025. Only a few scraps of yarn remained, a few bundles of straw, and a story carved indelibly into the face of the mountain. Visitors came over those years. They had picnics on its belly. They climbed onto its back. In winter, they skied over it. They laughed, took photographs, told their friends about it. Then, they gradually dwindled. Because what was gradually dwindling was the very thing that had drawn them there. And the last visitor one day descended that peak without looking back. In November 2025, the summit of Colletto Fava fell back into its old silence. Ordinary, calm, emptied, just like before 2005. Hase is no longer there. If you were to open those coordinates now, all you would find is an ordinary green hillside, physically erased. Nature has taken it back. It is as though not even a trace of it remains. But did you notice this? While watching this video, you pictured that pink rabbit in your mind. On the mountain summit, on its back, enormous, and strange, and ridiculous, and equally unsettling. You saw it. Even though you have never seen it, you saw it. A group of artists borrowed the knitting needles of grandmothers. They worked pink yarn for 5 years. They climbed a mountain, and they left something there so remarkable that decades later, people who never saw it can close their eyes and see it clearly. Perhaps permanence exists not in stone or bronze, but in the impression that seeps into people's minds. And Hase, even though it has long since returned to the earth, continues to lie on that mountain summit for everyone who has ever heard its story. There are dozens of strange and true stories like this one from all around the world. Which one would you like me to tell in the next video? Write in the comments. I will prepare the most requested story. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button and subscribe. If you enjoy seeing me here, I am waiting for you in the comments.